Hey, what's up everyone? So in this video, we're actually going to continue the discussion we had in the previous video about the dimples that we found on the bottom of the AMG. For anyone who didn't watch that video or didn't catch that one, basically when I was under the AMG doing some work to the exhaust, I noticed, and I'll have them right here. So thanks to the power of editing, it has appeared. This is basically the flat bottom setup of the AMG C63. And as you can see, it looks like a bunch of dimples all throughout the bottom. So in that video, I surmised that there had to have been some reason for them. I was kind of perplexed by it. I was kind of like, whoa, what's this doing under here? Just because of my background, I previously worked for a manufacturer in the racing division for that manufacturer. Big manufacturer, you all would know. And that's not really a thing. Like those kind of dimples that you find on golf balls and things like that, they work great with a mass that's spinning through the air. It basically keeps the air attached to the golf ball in a laminar flow for a longer period of time. But that is on a spinning mass traveling through the air. Cars don't spin. Okay, if your car is spinning through the air, hold on, you're going for a ride, all right? And you might want to like hit that on start button if you got one or something. You better call somebody, all right? You're having a bad day. So cars don't spin through the air. On a static object traveling through air, dimples don't really do anything, all right? They just don't. I know there's companies that they like sell these wraps that like they make your car look like a golf ball or something. Oh, it gives you 20% better fuel economy and blah, blah, blah. No, it doesn't. Don't buy it. It's a lie. The only thing that those things have is good marketing. I promise you they do not work. Okay? Don't waste your money. So I was extremely surprised to find them on the bottom of the AMG. I really kind of questioned what was going on there. I called some friends that are in the know with that sort of stuff and asked them, hey, when did you guys start putting these on? Why? Asked them a few questions. Come to find out, it's actually for road noise reduction. And anyone in the automotive industry, when it comes to production vehicles, knows that that's a big thing. I mean, manufacturers do everything they can to cancel out road noise. Everything from piping in sound into cars, like through your speakers, trying to cancel out road noise, to adding extra material in the vehicle. I mean, just all kinds of tricks they can to try and lessen the road noise in production vehicles. And that's what these are for. What they do not work for, though, is aerodynamics. Not at all. Zero amount. By the way, shameless plug. Anyone with one of these, I am currently building a true flat bottom for it. Might be a little bit noisier, but it will have a diffuser, a splitter, and a true flat bottom. And if you would like one, give me a call. We can build you one for your car. And this is why ground effects work so well on cars. Is pressure. It's all about the pressure, kids. Under pressure. Sorry, good song. I'm just saying. So it's all about the pressure. When you're driving down the road and you're in a flat bottom car, I want you to imagine this, okay? For all you guys trying to wrap your head around, well, what in the world does it matter? Imagine this. You're driving down the road, all right? You have a flat bottom car. You have ground effects on that car. That car is sitting 1/8 of an inch off the ground, all right? Or at least what matters is 1/8 of an inch off the ground, whatever. You know, it's basically flat bottom and it's real close to the ground. What's going on there is basically the air pressure above the car is pushing down, it's exerting a force down onto that car. Literally, and I do mean literally, like you took a bucket of water and put the bucket on your head and you go, like a turtle. Yeah, like, oh my goodness, it's so heavy. Same thing, same concept, okay? You literally have the atmosphere above you pushing down on the top of your vehicle, because underneath you have so little pressure. You have such high pressure above you and such low pressure below you. And as we all know, high goes to low. So that high is pushing down on your car. And it's doing it without causing additional drag. It's literally just the atmosphere. It's what you'd be driving through anyways, bud. You know what I mean? So it's a gain. It's a net gain in a massive way. More than just about anything, ground effects help cars, aerodynamically speaking. Like that is the thing. There's almost nothing else that can affect it so much. And if you don't believe me, go ask a Formula One team. All right, call up Renault and ask them, or call up any of those fools and be like, hey, if you could have one thing, what would it be, Jimmy? And you know what Jimmy would say? I want some freaking ground effects, okay? Because that makes them stick to the ground like glue. Now, to get into why those things don't work on a regular car, again, like we said, spinning objects, they work. Stack objects, they do not. On the bottom of that thing, no. Not on the top, bottom, or nowhere else. The reason they don't work, for one, what you truly want in a car is a flat bottom, like flat. And there's a couple of reasons why, and we're going to get into them. Number one, what is under a car? Literally everything. You've got an exhaust, you've got a drive shaft, you've got an engine, a transmission, a rear end, you've got tires, you've got crap just hanging out there like a parachute. Your freaking back bumper is like a parachute, okay? It's like, I mean, seriously, everything bad, aerodynamically speaking, is literally under your car. You know, it's something that on production cars, people don't think about. You know, it's just a regular old road car and nobody really cares. But you know what? We don't drive regular cars because life's too short to drive boring cars. Remember that, kids. Say no to drugs, say yes to fast cars. So that when that air is traveling underneath there, first thing you want to do is box all that off. All right, once you box all that off, regardless of ride height, ground effects, and everything else, just boxing that stuff off makes a huge difference. You've now taken all that stuff out of the equation. All right, it's now just a nice, smooth, laminar flow under your vehicle. That's huge. That right by itself is huge. Now, when you start talking about the actual, like you're really getting into aerodynamics, you're really getting into everything, and you're kind of designing the vehicle to really maximize everything. You're going to want a splitter. You're going to want a flat bottom. You're going to want a diffuser. And then there's a few other things you can add to help out. One thing I find very funny that you'll see on so many cars, so many, like every Honda to Vet and everything else has, they'll put a wing on their car. Oh man, the first thing they do, they go get them a carbon fiber, usually like a cheap Chinese carbon fiber wing or something, and they'll slap that thing on the back and, you know, oh man, yeah, look at this wing, it's you know, it's this and that, and it's fully adjustable, and good Lord, every Porsche in the world's got one that's 35 feet long and you could pull an RV with, okay? Listen, a diffuser, 100% a diffuser is way more efficient than any standalone wing. 100%, no questions asked, 100%. If everyone really cared about aerodynamics, they would run out and get diffusers, not wings, okay? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, a wing is good, and a wing is actually pretty essential to work with your diffuser. The two work in tandem to basically reinitiate the airflow farther down. First off, those ones that come from the production line, listen, unless you're buying like some crazy $2 million car, there is no stock diffuser that does anything. Like the AMG, okay? Anyone who has an AMG out there, y'all know, if you look at it from the back, it's like, oh look, it's got these little lines. It's got these, ain't jack, okay? The price point you're gonna have to get to where they start putting like actual functional ones on, or like the Ford GT price range. All right, I mean, maybe there's some obscure car out there I'm just not thinking about right now that puts one on there. Like nobody from the factory actually has a true diffuser. One of the easiest ways to tell a real functional diffuser to one that's like just, oh, it looks good and I've got a diffuser. Look at basically we'll call them little winglets, okay? You'll see these little winglets coming off the bottom of a diffuser. All right, if those things are straight, meaning they measure the same distance up at the front that they do at the back, okay? So they're 6 inches apart here, they're 6 inches apart here. they're junk. It's junk. I don't want to say it's junk, but that's not a real diffuser. So the whole point of a diffuser is it's taking that air, okay? And they should open up in like a V, like, oh, you know, they should come out like that. They should be, say, 3 inches here and 6 inches here. What that does, and that's actually why, like a real diffuser, if you see one, that stinking thing sticks out like this, like from your car. It's crazy. But the reason that it does that, you're basically bringing all that air from underneath, and you're making a smoother transition, let's say, to the ambient air pressure and everything. You're going from this fast-moving air, all right, that's underneath, and you're kind of like slowly opening it back up to the world, like, welcome to the world, Jimmy. All right, like that's the whole point. These ones where it's just like straight, you know, maybe they're technically, I guess they could still work a little bit, like with it reinitiating with the wing farther down, but you know, for the true functionality of the diffuser, no, that's the way you can tell. And 99% of the production ones you see, it's literally just a bumper with like, still like a parachute. Like if you're like, I got a diffuser on the back of my AMG, and I'm not trying to rag on AMGs. It's just like I'm building one. You know, I get it. I mean, I love it, but I get it. You know, it looks like it has this diffuser on the back. No, it's not. It's literally still just a parachute. It doesn't actually function with anything. So when you see those, again, unless you're at the price point of, you know, some kind of supercar or something, they're just not functional. I know I got a little bit past the flat bottom. Let's go back to that a little bit. So not only are you blocking everything off, you, in conjunction with ground effects and ride height, you're basically making this thing create low pressure at the bottom of your vehicle and high pressure at the top of your vehicle. Now, the way I want you to think about this, imagine sitting in your seat, okay? Now imagine you take a 100-pound barrel of water and stick it on your head. That's literally what you're doing. Like when you can create the correct airflow from beneath the car and above the car, you're literally sticking extra weight on top of the vehicle, which is pulling it down. You know, it's the weight of the atmosphere pushing down on that car. One of the great things about that, you're basically adding downforce without creating parasitic drag. Parasitic drag is basically drag that you don't want. So you're getting the benefits, the cornering benefits of the downforce without the crazy drag coefficient, you know, that like Formula One cars have. And it's always a trade-off. It truly always is on just about everything besides ground effects. Ground effects are the one thing that, listen, if you could have anything on your car, it's all about the ground. It's all about that. I mean, you forget everything else. If you create the perfect setup, you know, side skirts and just a perfect setup on the bottom of your car, top of the car ain't gonna freaking matter. I mean, really, it's that much of a deal. And that's why I say, like, I don't care what wings you have. I don't care what canards you have. I don't care about any of that. Like the diffuser, the flat bottom, the splitter, the side skirts, that's what matters. 100%. Don't care what anyone says. Like anyone who says otherwise is not an engineer, doesn't know. It's all, they just don't know. I'm not saying they don't have any effect. I'm absolutely not saying that. But when it comes to efficiency, you cannot be touched. It just can't. The flat bottom works in conjunction with diffuser, as I said, and the diffuser brings it all back out to ambient air. The front splitter. So what the front splitter is actually doing, a lot of people have a misconception about the front splitter. They think it's causing like down, like it's getting pressed on from the top and that's pulling the front of the car down. That is incorrect. That is not what a front splitter is meant to do. A front splitter is basically creating more surface area under your car for that air to travel, okay? It's basically getting that air trapped under your vehicle, brought down under your vehicle, creating that pressure system that's causing the air on top, the high pressure on top, to push down on your car. That's what a front splitter is for. If you ever see, like, sometimes you'll see basically what look like screws on the front of a splitter, and people think incorrectly that that's to set like an angle of attack. Like, okay, I don't want any downforce, I want lots of downforce, and I'm going to go through the water, so let's do a skid. That's incorrect. What that actually is there for is to set up how close to the ground it is. It's basically allowing you to dictate how much air can go under your car. That's what those are there for. It's actually very useful in certain applications in your everyday life. It looks cool. These things are not very practical. It's always a trade-off. You could create a car with amazing characteristics when it comes to cornering, but then it's so good at cornering, your tire wear is junk. Your maximum velocity is junk. Your acceleration is shot. It's always this trade-off of how good does something stick to the road? What's my lateral G's? How many lateral G's can it pull? What's my tire wear? What's my fuel usage? All these different things. And in race cars or cars that you and me are probably going to drive, great. That's something we live for. It's something we love, and that's our passion, and that's great. Your grandma does not want to go buy a Maxima that can pull 2 lateral G's and has a 3-foot diffuser and a 4-foot splitter and a wing so dang big she can't see out the back, because it's going to go tearing around the ring or something. Like, that ain't a thing. So there's always that give and take, and that's why I can understand AMG doing this. The C63 is an amazing car, absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it. It's a very fun car to drive. I've got Vipers. I absolutely love driving my Vipers. Those things are fun. Of course, I love riding my bikes. Those things are fun. And the AMG is one of those. It's a very fun, very good car. And it's actually fairly practical, as a regular car. Wouldn't be throwing a family of 4 in it to go do anything, but to get to work and putz around and all that stuff, sure. That being said, everyone who buys one of those things is not me, and they're not you. They don't want it to be the world's fastest car. They don't want it to be, a Bugatti killer or something crazy like that. It's just a guy that really likes Mercedes, loves the tech, loves everything about it, all the gizmos, loves the way it sounds when you put it in race mode and stuff like that, and he's gonna have a little fun. And a guy like that, you need to worry about, basically, the road noise. You need to worry about that sort of stuff. You need to think about comfort and convenience. This is a guy that's gonna, maybe talk some business while he drives. I mean, the dang thing has autopilot, which I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love that feature. And by the way, I'm not sponsored by Mercedes, nothing like that. I mean, I'm just telling you why I understand them putting it on there. As a matter of fact, I found out Lexus does too on some of their cars. They do the same thing. And I totally understand it. I mean, they're doing the best they can. They basically have split the difference between a flat bottom car, because they've done what we talked about. They enclosed the bottom of the car. So they're taking all that extra stuff out of the equation. Now on top of that, they've created these dimples underneath there to lessen the road noise some, to kind of dampen it down. And they've done it without doing what other manufacturers do, some, of putting just an obscene amount of like filler and liner and all this stuff on their car to try and keep the road noise down. Listen, you don't have a 4-inch thick carpet in the cab of your car because they want you to have a real plush place to put your feet. Okay, you have it because they're trying to keep the road noise down because it's actually really loud. So if that helps them actually save weight and all that extra material by doing a flat bottom and putting some dimples in, more power to them. I think it's great. That being said, is it the, best thing in the world for aerodynamics and racing and all? No, I mean, it's not. But again, all about compromise. So anyways, I won't keep going with this. I hope that explains it. I hope that explains the dimples pretty well, why they did that, why they're there, why manufacturers are doing that now, and then some about the aerodynamics. And remember, if you take anything away from this, if you only have a little bit amount of money to spend, don't go out and buy the biggest, baddest wing with multi-angle and blah, 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 and the splitter and this and that. Splitter ain't gonna do you no good if you've got just an open bottom car. Wing ain't gonna do you as much good as getting a diffuser. Do yourself the biggest favor you can. Get a flat bottom and get a diffuser. Those are the first 2 steps to aerodynamic excellence. All right, guys, I am DONE done. Peace.